Yeah, we're on.
This is a story about the lengths, without stereotyping of course, the lengths that Lancashire people will go to save money rather than spend it. The Queen's up there. On the banks of the Mersey, over on Cheshire side, lies Runcorn, that's best known to fame. For transport a bridge, it takes folks across stream and brings them back across same. In days afore transport a bridge were put up, a ferryboat lay on the slip, and old Ted, the boatman, would row folks across at per tuppence per person per trip. Now, Runcorn lay on one side of the stream and Widnes on the other side stood, and as nobody wanted to go either place, the trade was none too good. One day, to Ted's superlative surprise, 3 customers came into view. A Mr and Mrs Ramsbottom it were, and Albert, their little son too. "How much for 3?" asked father, as his hand to his pocket did dip. "Per tuppence per person per trip," Ted replied. "I've lost it." "You're not charging tuppence for that, little lad," says father, his eyes flashing wild. "Per tuppence per person per trip," Ted replied. "Per woman, per man, or per child?" "Nay," says father, 5 pence is most that I'll pay, let's not waste time in talk." "Per tuppence per person per trip," Ted replied, "and them as can't pay has to walk." "And we will walk," says father. "Come mother, it's none so deep, weather's quite mild." So into the water the 3 of them stepped, the woman, the man and the child. Well, the further they paddled, the deeper it got, but they wouldn't give in once begun. In the spirit that's made Lancashire what she is, they'd sooner be drowned than done. Soon the old folks were up to their necks, and the little lad, clean out of sight, says, "Father, where's Albert?" And mother says, "I've got hold of his hand, he's all right." Then Pa got an idea, and floundering back to old Ted, he says, "Come, we've walked halfway, take us to rest for half price." But Ted was standing for none of that there, and giving an obstinate lip. "Per tuppence per person per trip," he replied. "Per trip or per part of per trip." "Right," says father, "let me take the boat. I'll pick up the others halfway, I'll row them across, and I'll bring the boat back, and 3 bargain I'll pay." "For money for now, all right," says old Ted. So Pa got hold of the sculls, and with sharp end at boat towards middle of the stream, he were there in a couple of pulls. He got mother out, it were rather a job. With the water she weighed half a ton. Then pushing the oar down the side of the boat, started fishing around for his son. When poor little Albert came up to the top, his collar was soggy and limp, and with holding his breath at the bottom so long, his face was as red as a shrimp. Father rowed him across, and he brought the boat back, and he said to old Ted on the slip, "Wilt row me across?" Ted says, "Aye, per tuppence per person per trip." Well, when they got to the side, father laughed fit to bust. He'd got best at bargain, you see. He'd worked it all out, and he'd got his own way, and he'd only paid 5 pence for 3.